Old Hickory Lake makes Hendersonville unique. I'm going to talk about several things you need to keep in mind if you want to live near a lake. In Hendersonville, Tennessee, the lake has a mostly good effect on real estate. I think the first thing you need to consider is you can anticipate property appreciation. One of the most notable advantages of living beside Old Hickory Lake is the potential for property appreciation. Homes along the lakefront tend to increase in value over time, making them not only a beautiful place to live, but a sound investment for the future. Property near the lake goes up in value more quickly than the property of the neighbors across the street. Over time, many houses beside the lake have been replaced with large mansions that increase in value even more. It's hard to put a price tag on how great it is to have a beautiful water view or right outside your window. Number two, you need to understand the regulations and responsibilities. While living by Old Hickory Lake has many benefits, it's important for prospective buyers to understand the regulations and responsibilities that come with lakefront living. The Army Corps of Engineers owns the property along the shoreline, which means that homeowners must adhere to certain guidelines and regulations. This includes obtaining permits for docks and other waterfront structures. The Corps decides which properties are allowed docks and how big they can be. Having a dock or even just a permit increases resale value significantly. If you do have a dock, you can moor your own boat at your own dock. How handy is that to walk out your back door and go for a spin around the lake? The Corps also requires compliance with environmental regulations to protect the natural beauty of the area. Homeowners are not allowed to remove trees on lakeshore property without permission. By understanding these regulations and responsibilities up front, buyers can make informed decisions about purchasing lakefront property. In fact, as soon as you purchase lakeside property, it is your responsibility to make an appointment with the Army Corps of Engineers to discuss what you may or may not do with their property. By the way, I'm Leslie Davison with Epic Realty. I'm doing this YouTube channel to help people who have interest in moving to the Nashville area. I'm starting with Sumner County and working out from there. Like and subscribe for more information. Okay, third thing to keep in mind is to prepare for flood risks. One of the considerations that come with living by Old Hickory Lake and the Cumberland River is potential for flooding. The dam that controls the water level in the lake helps to mitigate flood risks, but it's important for residents to be aware of potential flood hazards and take appropriate precautions. Most of the lakeside homes are far enough from shore to be safe when the water rises. Their docks may be flooded, but usually the homes are safe. Some parts of town near rising river water are more in danger than those by the lake. If a home is at risk for flooding, it comes as no surprise, as the floodplain maps outline areas in danger of 100-year or 500-year floods. Here's an overview map of Hendersonville. Turn on the flood zone. You see how the river has a little bit of flooding around it once in a while. I'll show a little more detail here. If you look, here is the main parks in Hendersonville where the ball fields are. Got Drake's Creek Park. With this part has the ducks, this part has the ball fields. Look what happens. The entire park gets flooded. It seems like maybe once a year, once every other year. Parts of it more than that. But look at this one here. Zoom into this neighborhood right next to the park. There's an area here that floods, but you can't tell by looking at this regular map where it is. You gotta turn on the flood zone. You see there's areas here. These places, the properties here would be required to have some flood insurance if there's a mortgage, and should have some flood insurance even without a mortgage. But that's just a glimpse at how the floodplain maps work. It should be in disclosures. If a place is prone to flooding, your realtor can check, but you also should double check with the title company. And it'd be a good idea to know that before you make an offer if it's close to water. Mortgage companies require those homes to carry flood insurance, which is a few $100s a year, even when it looks like it would be impossible for the water to rise that high. If you live in a floodplain, and you don't have a mortgage requiring flood insurance, I recommend getting it anyway. A home that is rated to have low to moderate flood risk is 5 times more likely to have flood damage than damage from a fire, so insurance makes sense. By design, the areas of Hendersonville that flood the most are the parks. The floodwater doesn't typically damage a playground or a ball field, even if games have to be canceled for a couple of weeks waiting for the fields to dry out. If you worry about flooding, take steps to protect your home and property by obtaining flood insurance and implementing flood-resistant building practices. By understanding the risks and taking proactive measures, you can enjoy the benefits of lakeside living with peace of mind. Most importantly, the best thing about living near a lake is the beauty and the fun. So number 4, enjoy the recreational opportunities. When you live on or near the lake, you have easy access to water activities: fishing, boating, skiing, personal watercraft. I live near the water and I only occasionally do any of those, but I enjoy picnicking and walking near the water and seeing the sunsets. Hendersonville has 26 miles of shoreline. Most of it is private residences, but there are lakeside parks and restaurants. Walton Ferry Peninsula has 3 marinas that both locals and people outside the area use. If you're thinking about moving to the Nashville area and living near a lake would be of interest to you, let's chat. I'm Leslie Davison with Epic Realty. I hope you love your Tennessee home.